United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. All right, so roll call, obviously I'm here, Henry's here, Deb's here, Wes is gonna be a calling, and Tom is here. Did I get that right, Lee? Yes. Okay. All right, I'd like a motion to approve the agenda. Henry. Yeah, discussion. All right, so Jerry just pointed out to me from the, different from the agenda that was sent to us about mailing addresses, we were taking on your staff presentation, highly capable program was being moved to the November meeting. So, and Wes, is he? Okay, all right. Okay, so. I'm not sure that, I think everything else is in order. And if any more discussion, if not, I'm going to call for a motion to, or for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 100%. Okay, recognition of visitors, we don't have anybody tonight, public comment,
We still have student recognition.
I'm getting it.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at public comment, Brittany, nobody signed in, there's no, okay. Student recognition, Jerry.
The teacher's here, and.
I think she's waiting for the family up front.
Oh, okay.
They did confirm they would be here, but
I did see a car pulling into the parking lot that I didn't recognize right as I was getting up to walk here, so
Give it up.
maybe.
If I okay to jump into yours and we could, well, let's just give it a minute here.
Check out.
Yeah, I guess we could go ahead. I'm gonna drop down to item number 9, announcements and recognitions. Looks like the 25th is the Halloween carnival here at the school, I'm assuming. And then the conference is 29th and 31st. Veterans Day is the 11th, and the next board meeting is the 19th. That's Thanksgiving coming up. God, where is this year going? God. 19th, okay, I do have it. Well. Let's keep going. What do you want to do? Say you want to just wait? Let's go ahead and we'll jump into your stuff and then the person's comment.
Yours is longer,
Agenda would be a short thing to get through.
and mine is less long. My
Okay.
announcement is like,
And we can jump around. Okay. So the school improvement plan is what you're saying, we can jump into the updates.
yeah, we can kind of go around to the school improvement plan and take a little bit of time.
All right.
And I don't want,
All right,
then, yeah.
so we'll do number 11A. Okay.
All right, that's me. Okay, here we go. I wanted you to have this one sheeter that is going to go out to family. I asked for one sheeter, they gave me a 4-sheeter, but that's okay. It's an informational document around Parent Square. I think you guys might like to have that. We're gonna start working on our communications with our families and staff about how we will use Parent Square. Just for your interest, you'll see on mine, it seems to be, I guess, kind of like deer hunting season. This is grant hunting season, it seems. And so we're hunting for those. I've been awarded a $3,000 grant from the Hamburg Foundation. The check is in the mail. It's an interesting group. They notified me and they there's a father of a life skills child who had his kid in a life skills class who saw that those teachers were kind of hunting for materials and things for their kids, and so he had enough money to set up a rather robust foundation, the Hamburg Foundation. And with specifically eye towards materials for life skills. So we sent them a list of things we want and they said, okay, we'll approve that. They're sending us a check, so.
So what would you say items for the classroom?
Like more furnishings and equipment that are full, not like reading materials and stuff. There's like a specialized chair and a cushion pad and some things that are very oriented towards kids with physical disability.
Oh, okay.
So happy about that. Alyssa's Law has a lot of you can almost call them unfunded mandates in terms of building security and requirements, although they are grants available. There's a school security and preparedness grant that we're working on to try to access so that we can upgrade cameras and various security measures. See if we get that. Cindy's working on Healthy Kids grant that is oriented towards fitness and health. So she's working with her folks to figure out what exactly they want so that we can enhance our schools, our children's. Make sure that wasn't less. Budgets are tight and these kinds of things really just enhance our school and we can focus on getting those. There's an ADA equal access grant or as well. That one's a little unsure. It could be up to $150,000 and I would like to do some work on bathrooms. But that might not, that's a lot of money, but it might not do a full bathroom reset. So we may step back and work on more door access or it's undecided how we want to move forward with that. But we're trying to get some ideas on what it would cost to reduce some bathrooms at a middle level. And I just started working with Apollo on a solar energy grant that has no upfront costs that the Department of Energy has to supplement our energy costs. So that one's in the hopper as well.
Question that, do they come out and look at our
They have.
property? Okay.
Yeah, they have been in that.
Sunlight throughout the day?
Yeah, and one of the things I told them is we're not touching our roof. It's not going on the roof no matter what, because I don't want any messing with it. It's
Yeah.
too vulnerable. And so they drew up a design for covering that play shed and then creating, you see them a lot in like Arizona and stuff like a carport covering area. And it would be over in the parking areas. They're putting together a proposal and see if the grant can cover it. We spend about $5,000 a month on energy costs, and so it could have a significant impact on that.
I would really like to make sure when you start getting the proposal, I would love to look over your shoulder.
Okay.
The two times that I've been contacted, I just couldn't get answers to questions about how did the solar panels over time degrade? How do they degrade with their normal aging plus pitch and dust and needles and on and on and on. And I had a roof, I turned them both down. It was gonna be like $50,000 upfront cost for me, and then with a repay. And I was real nervous about it.
Yeah, my vision for that would be to take probably a chunk of the savings and stash it away in capital projects, and knowing that in 15 years or so, we're gonna have to take a closer look at them again, because they don't last forever, right? And so, say we save $2,000, $4,000 a month, maybe. Let's chunk some of that away so that in 15 years, they don't curse my name for having put them in.
Well, let's just log on.
Sure.
Joining right now.
As well.
I wonder what that would do to our insurance too, to carry such a. And what would be the cost if something, say a fire?
Oh, hail.
Yeah, yeah.
They had a hail from down there, it's hung up there.
Yeah. So
Who's that guy there?
there it is, Sonny.
Hey, how's it going?
Got the right look. He's got the look.
I'm sorry I was a little late. I was golfing, and the way I golf, it takes forever. So I had to rush home in my little golf cart. You know? Oh gosh, the board meeting. Anyway, so
What we've done here, we've kind of got out of order because we were waiting for student recognition here, so we jumped to Jerry's
Oh.
review of stuff. And we're gonna go back here, it looks like there's a teacher here without a child, there's the stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll get to that here. But go ahead and finish up here.
Okay, so, you know, there's no guarantee that we'll get that energy grant, but we're gonna go give it a shot, because if we could save some money, we'll take the federal government's money. Next week, we have our Character Strong Assembly on the 28th, and the ESD is going to join us, and recognize some of the leadership that the kids are putting into that. And, we'll highlight, they'll highlight that in their materials, and, they'll see the great stuff that we're doing. And, I want them to highlight Character Strong and see that, an outstanding program, so that's why I invited them for that particular event. And then the Apollo grant is getting closer and closer. One of the things that we were discovering that what was the control systems, the computers were inadequate, and so we're gonna roll into that. The server, we needed a new server anyway, and so what we're gonna do, and we also needed a server or another computer to operate the control system, so we're just gonna order the server and have our guy install it, and then that will be sufficient for the technological needs for the control system, so that we can keep an eye on and manage all of our heating correctly.
So are there dollars left in that?
Yes, yeah, yep.
Okay. Well, they either they overestimated or they did a really good job of delivery being efficient.
Yeah, part of what they had done originally was look at, doing a lot of the work and through the night, and they would have ended up having to pay people a lot more, so, there was a fair amount of savings from that, because we just did it slowly during daytime hours and didn't have to pay for the evening work, and there was already originally in that some money built in for some additional security measures and whatnot, and so between the well and these things, we're just kind of pushing them all into that so that we can make sure this is done long. And that is the end of what I have to say.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead here, I see a lady here that I don't recognize, but I'm assuming that you, Francie.
Yeah, I'm Mrs. Van Mars, or Francie, the new third grade teacher.
So you have someone to show recognition that's not here.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed. Aiden, a student in our school, has shown tremendous growth this year. And we're so proud of his effort he's putting forth to become his best self. With the Character Strong lessons, he's been learning how to notice, how to take responsibility for his own needs, ask questions when he needs help, and treat others with kindness and respect. What really stands out is that Aiden, this year is his perseverance. Even in subjects like math and writing that feel really challenging, he keeps trying and doesn't give up. And he's also working hard to grow as a reader and is showing real determination to improve each day. Aiden is also learning to solve problems peacefully, and he's showing understanding, patience, and empathy towards classmates who are different than him, and he didn't get along with in previous years. Yeah, he approaches others with care and compassion, and he's becoming a positive, supportive, and thoughtful member of our classroom community. We're really proud of Aiden, and I'm really sad he's not here
Well,
today.
I will make sure I come to class and present this to him.
Okay, and I have it printed off so you can take it home and it's, grandma and mom can read it.
So I'll come to class tomorrow and we'll make sure he gets the
Wonderful,
message.
So could I ask a question?
yeah,
So you speak of this young man's progressive behavioral improvement. Is there anything there, character strong? What is it that kind of got his attention? I'm more than curious.
I'm sure some maturity and the continual, community lessons together about character strong. Every single morning we're meeting together and talking about respectfulness, kindfulness, responsibility. And doing examples of with each other of how what that looks like, how to get along with others that you don't, and setting up scenarios where he has opportunities to get along with people that maybe he didn't before, so I think that's part of what's. And every day is different, right? Some days are harder than others, but overall, he's showing great growth.
So the third grader, he's what, 9-ish, 10-ish?
8,
Okay,
yeah, 8,
all right, well, thank you.
yeah.
Good job, by the way, we appreciate that. We're sorry we don't get a picture with him, but yeah, and we'll.
Yeah.
We'll make sure he gets recognized. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, can I, yeah, just in case they're.
And so Francie has been really kind. She's let me come in and play my ukulele with the kids. It's been really fun.
Yeah, this land is your land, we're gonna do it for.
Thank you.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, so now we're down, to let's go ahead and we'll go back to the agenda. Now, Wes, we're gonna go back, to staff presentation, Kitty's gonna talk about, the school improvement plan.
No. Oh, yeah.
Well, what?
You should be able to.
You can see it.
You're comfortable, you sit on your feet all day.
No, you mark them up.
Okay. There's just a lot, but we're gonna go at a perky pace, but still answer all of your questions. Yeah, perky pace. Okay, so we have the 25-26 school improvement plan. Go ahead, Rosie. Okay, our planning and process, here's the actual document, right, but it's quite long, so we did the presentation, you can feel free if you want a copy of it, just let me know and I have extra copies. But we did use SBA scores, those are reflected in the SIP, and then we also used iReady assessments, our WOG Kids assessments we use those for both TK and K, and our benchmark classroom assessments to plan our goals for the year. And this is, we kind of showed you this last time, but on the top is our Grapeview scores and Washington State is at the bottom. And that's for our spring 2025 academic year. So foundational grade level knowledge and above. What that means are a score 2, 3, or 4 on the SBA. And this is taken directly from our report card. Any questions about that one?
And if there's some room to grow.
For sure. You might notice the ELA. Right?
That's the one I was.
Yeah, 48.3%, had consistent grade level knowledge and above. So what that means is a 3 or 4 on SBA, and that's collectively. Washington State was 50.9%. For us, one kid is, I think Miss Chilson, the math teacher, figured it out, but it's a couple percentage points, right? We're dealing with a smaller scale, but I agree, there's room to grow, so. Go for it, Brittany. I did want you to see this though, because we do have a celebration. How has student learning grown? This is taken from the state report card as well. 2023 is on the top, and our students scored 49%. That was our growth percentile, and this year it was 51% growth percentile. And then in math, check that out, 46.5. And then that's 57, so our kids in both subjects are showing growth, and that's. Yeah,
The slide before, could we back up just here?
yeah,
Okay, now. Math, okay, consistent grade level of knowledge. 44 versus, okay, so that slide showed you went from 40, so what's the difference between this math score and the one you just showed me?
okay, so this is, so you see on the left, foundational grade level knowledge.
Correct.
Okay, that is a score of 2, 3, or 4. So what they mean is. That's foundational knowledge. They're not counting the ones because they're not meeting that foundational knowledge piece. Now, on the right is consistent grade level knowledge and above. That's scoring a 3 or 4 on the SBA. They used to split those up for us. This is how the state's doing it now. So 44.2% of our overall grades 3 through 8 last year were a 3 or a 4 on the math SBA. The next slide is their growth percentile, which we'll get into.
Okay.
Yeah,
I try to get my head wrapped in.
no, ask the question, it's important. So I just wanted you to see that because this drove some of our goal setting report, Brittany. Okay, so what we analyzed is our student growth exceeded our goal and came in through with ELA 51%, math 57%. So we expanded our growth percentile goal and we did 10%. So instead of 51%, we want to get to 56% next for this coming year. When we take the SBA spring 2026 and then in math, 63%. So we said, oh, lofty goal, but it's growth, so we're hopeful. And then 3 cohorts we've identified as. We talk about those cohorts that over their course of Grapeview struggle and they need more support. So we've identified 3 of those cohorts that need additional support, targeted supports.
So that 3 is across all grades or in a group of 3s and 4s?
No, it's a whole class. So that we have 3 classes, grade levels, there's just 1 class per grade that we've identified as based on their scores from last year's SBA or district assessments last year as needing additional supports. There's students that maybe learn differently that need more targeted interventions.
Okay.
So this has been the same, but we still hypothesize that measuring student growth, setting goals, creating action plans will help achieve 2 objectives. First, if we focus on growth, especially beyond the standard growth target, which is what we're doing. The state always has a growth target of 50%. We're setting one that matches our kids. And the achievement gap between students scoring lower and students scoring higher on both I-Ready assessments and SBA should shrink, which would bring our lower scoring students closer to same age peers. And then by emphasizing the growth, we go beyond just the students who need supports to even the students who are above grade level also grow. Okay, when we did our needs assessment, we used I-Ready standard reports. I spent a lot of time talking to I-Ready because we have 1 checkpoint. For us to get even more data, we need that second checkpoint, like Star Renaissance Place. We've been doing it for so many years. We have this historical data. We're building that with I-Ready, but it gives us really good information. We use SBA data, state report card insights, and ELA is our focus right now. And our growth target looks different. It used to just be grow more than 1 grade level. right? We've seen that the last several years in our SIP. But based on how iReady presents the data, we are defining that growth goal as advancing at least one overall placement level, which I'll go over. So think instead of grade level, it's a placement level, and I'll show you what that looks like. Les, this was explaining the growth percentile, what it means. This is taken directly from the state. A student with a 40 student growth percentile, it shows greater growth than 40% of students with a similar test score in an earlier grade. So they compare students in the same grade level with similar scores over a year and measure their performance. So what the normal growth would be. So if our median growth score for math is 57%, then that means as a whole, our students are growing more than 57% of that, of their similar age peers on the same test compared to this year from last year. Questions about that?
Somehow I've come away with previous presentations that our kids at this school are consistently outperforming our peer group and well above the states. And yeah, I don't think this is going on carrying around and when at a offsite session or around other, I'm all too glad to say, yes, you're, and I'm hoping in here, I'm not gonna be made a liar, I'm gonna be able to see this stuff.
So every year, you know, we have students and they're individuals and there's always areas for growth, but sometimes you have really strong cohorts that have been strong since kindergarten and they grow and grow and grow. Other classes grow and grow and grow, but maybe we work more on foundational skills. So I understand what you're saying. Yes, normally we are outperforming. It doesn't mean we're not, but we have areas to grow to.
I would say we've been pretty consistent. The others have grown a lot more. too.
Because they started at a level that was,
Right.
okay, and that's an important piece.
So we had a small, you saw in the PLA, a small dip. We have a cohort that's not as strong, but the state and some of our area schools have grown.
Good.
So
And that's because
so we were pretty steady and we're still really close. They've grown quite a lot.
okay.
This whole file folder is years. Like I went back in years, compared scores, and Jerry's right, we're very consistent. Yes, we're very consistent. Okay, so this is where it's going to look a little bit different. If you remember in the years past, we just had this one-page chart that said, here's where they're at collectively, grade point average. They're at 4.4. And it looked nice and it was easy, but this is how iReady presents its data to us. And it really is more actionable for us as staff. So the number up top that you see are students. So in kindergarten reading, remember we just had early literacy last time. So we didn't get a separated math score, so this is really good. But 16 of our students were one grade level below. Now, the yellow is actually where they should be at the beginning of the year. Because they're testing them on kindergarten standards. They are just starting kindergarten. So that doesn't mean that they're below grade level. it says that they need grade level instruction. So.
Okay.
Yep. And we have one student scoring mid or above grade level, so this is where we're talking the placement level. Our goal is to have these students move up a placement level. So if they start off here, like 6 of our kids, we want them to move here. Okay, 1 grade level below, we're looking for them to move here. So move up a placement or more.
It's just seems like it hits me in kindergarten math. It just seems like, I mean, good gosh, they're learning how to draw the colors and
Yes.
maybe identify a letter difference between in a math that just catches me kind of off. But oh, that's okay.
You would be shocked, spend a day in kindergarten, they're doing the math, it's their expectations.
Wow, that's valuable.
With reading the graph, how would you, a kindergartner can't be 3 or more grade levels below.
Exactly, yeah. Yep, in kindergarten, you're not going to see that.
Oh, okay.
So in our reports, we have scale scores as well,
Mhm.
and we have a placement guide for that, so it shows us kind of where on the continuum and what specific skills. Again, this is the broadest data piece that I can show you, but it goes into the very specific standard, which for a teacher, for me, that's all we can ask for, that we weren't getting before, with our data. Yeah. Okay, first grade. So some students in reading 2 grade levels below, math, see there. So a lot of room for growth. So the definition of the yellow is approaching grade level expectation and will benefit from grade level instruction. So that's the beginning of the year.
I'm sorry, just to say, you didn't.
Yes,
Okay.
so yellow is okay and normal.
Yep.
That's where they should be at. Okay, second grade. Our second graders, need reading support. So we have poured a lot of resources into second grade for reading support. But that's pretty evident based on that data.
And the grades, does a person opt out?
No, we've had some enrollment fluctuations, so,
Okay.
they maybe started the test or didn't complete it yet because they just enrolled.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, third grade. So, one of our cohorts, right, that we identified. As needing some extra support and in the action plan. We already have those things in play right now, but. They need some reading support and quite honestly, math support as well. Alright, 4th grade.
So I'm reading this right, there's 5 students that are 3 or more grade levels below on 5th grade reading.
The company did say that this would be. If you think of the computer algorithm, the first time they take this test, they're trying to find the level, the scope of that. Algorithm is so vast because they're giving them different questions and all of those things. So once they have the baseline, which they do now, when we take it in January, they can narrow it in. So they said, anticipate that your students will look to be scoring a little bit lower on this one. That's what they told us, but we'll see in January. But it does give us really good data.
Can you tell us anything about kids who might have a laptop to play with at home and kids who don't have a laptop to play with at home? I mean, because watching everything's on the computer now and watching their lack of keyboarding skills makes me kind of crazy. You know, I mean, if I were taking a test and you couldn't type, I would be nuts.
Yeah, the younger students, kindergarten and first grade, did all of their testing on a touchscreen with a teacher.
Okay.
This also took so much longer. This test is so much longer than any of our kids were used to because it's more thorough
Mhm.
and it gives us all of the data we need. So that was kind of shocking for them too,
Well, for sure, early in the year especially.
because instead of one 30-minute session,
Yeah.
it maybe took us 3 30-minute sessions, right? Some kids longer, so there's that too. Okay. 5th grade.
Do these children get pulled out to advance their skills?
Yeah, we'll go over that during the goals and the action plan. So this is another cohort, right, based on SBA scores from last year. That need extra support. That we've identified for a while.
I think it's also important to pick out too is, was it 5th graders, 6th graders, 7th graders also had to deal with COVID. So what they had was 6th graders, 1st grade COVID or kindergarten COVID, first grade, 7th graders the same. It's a really important time that they missed, which is sad.
Seventh grade, there's a lot of kids in 7th grade. There's been a couple more that have been added since this. There's 30 children now, but
Class.
yeah, but they've consistently been a really solid class, so some of our students were like, how did I score that, you know, in this class specifically? They're upset because they were used to stars saying, you're 12.9, you know, 12th grade, 9th month college level, but they're doing well. Okay, and then 8th grade is but if you've been here for years, you know that this is a cohort that we've been working with for years. They've been on our radar and that we have board supports into.
So if I took that 8th grade reading and you add up those numbers, 5, 8, 11, so there's essentially 19 kids in that column. So in essence, 8, 16. So if I were to go say 3 and odd, so about half of that class is. At the beginning of the year, they've got a lot of growth.
Yes. And if I were to show you that as SBA scores, there were some celebrations though. Like, I'm telling you, the kids, for the first time, that they've been on a pretty intensive IEP. And for the first time ever, last year, a student moved to a 2 on the SBA. I can't tell you how, like, big that is and how much of a celebration that is. So, I know it looks like that, but they're kids, they're individuals, they learn at their own pace. There are some celebrations and we've worked very hard in this class. Yeah. Okay. All right, so ELA, TK, our growth goal is to increase their endurance and attention span for a full school day. improve successful transitions and daily exposure to literacy in an academic setting. The more we know about our TK students, the better kindergarten goes. And kindergarten through 8th grade will move up at least one overall placement level and iReady. And then district-wide, our growth goal last year was 50% and we made 51%. So we want to go to 56% or higher for the student growth percentile of SBA. Okay, here's all the things that we're doing, maybe not all the things, but we started a new intervention program. We rethought our intervention program, Walk to Read. We have a lot of staff members involved in it. We have 2 grade levels at a time that have the same intervention block. So like K1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we have our interventionist, our student services coordinator, and the 2 classroom teachers. We split all those kids up based on data and skill, and they all run small groups. And so some of those kids move to different groups based on where they're at. So if we had a 2nd grader reading at a 3rd grade level, they would go to a different group. So, and vice versa, if they're not reading at grade level, they might go to a different staff member. So it's fluid. And then we still have pull-out groups. And our student services, Ms. Severance runs a pull-out group as well. And then interims, SBA interims still as a teaching tool. We are consistently using our curriculum now. And we're focused on the same routines from K through 5 for reading. So that is going to be great. And then for PLC, we're breaking apart the standards and we're only focusing on the essential, not only focusing, but we're targeting the essential learning standards so that our teachers know the big ticket items that we need to hit, because we do have an inexperienced staff for the most part, which is a good thing because they learn the Grapeview way, but we're gonna identify what they really need to learn. Intervention plannings, best practices, same routines, and then also with iReady, we have access to the personalized instruction program, which is directly tied to their diagnostic assessment results. So that's online. They do 10 minutes a day in each subject, and they get exactly what's at their level, and it's engaging, and it goes all the way through middle school. And there are fun games and breaks embedded that are all learning games, and they think they're playing games, but they're reading and doing other things. So what I need time for middle school, still doing our goal setting and the iReady assessment suite. It gives us a lot more targeted, actionable data that aligns with SBA proficiency, so we aren't caught off guard. Math, let you read TK. Same goal for iReady math assessments, move up at least 1 placement level. And then we've all exceeded our goal of 50%. So we're going to try to get to growth percentile of 63%. Question?
No,
Right, so assessment suite again, we're piloting that, lines with SBA, and then we're also sampling new math curricula with a projected purchase in the 2026-27 academic year that has been pre-planned. We've been saving for that. And then we're using MyPath, that same online differentiation, 10 to 20 minutes a day, exactly at their level.
So how do you feel, appreciate what you presented? Are you feeling optimistic that we're meeting are consistent with meeting our goals? As far as, we haven't taken these dips, my sense, and you've been, as others are playing catch up, we've been progressively, you're satisfied that we're there?
Yeah, when we did the review of our set the end of year review, I think that there was only one class that didn't meet our goal for our Star Renaissance Place assessment. SBA, we met our growth percentile. Of course, did we target some things? Yeah, but it's the beginning of the year.
Right.
It's our whole job and it gives us room to grow. So, but yes, I feel confident that we're consistent. We didn't see this tanking. But we're pivoting and we're following the data.
You used to present the classes and in which like math level or reading level, sometimes they were a fifth grade reading or math at a sixth grade level. Do you still do that assessment?
Yeah, that is,
That all of that?
Yes.
It's just a different format.
it is. So I will be able to show you that format once I have 2 data points.
Okay.
So I went back and forth with them. They assured me it will look different though, because it will look different than the way it was presented before, but there are grade levels.
And what I would say is, I think we have a better test that will give us more information that we can target kids with. But the presentation and the structure of the way it looks for us is different. But I think it'll be better for us, because then we can target kids needs more instant.
And I'm happy to sit with you too, I love this stuff, so if you wanna come in one day and I can show you what I can see on my end, I'm happy to, if you want, so.
What I'm impressed with is your passion for it. What I'm concerned with is your new role against this passion, and your new role as a principal.
Well, this was the same goal last year, and I feel like the teaching and the learning is the same job, right? No matter if you're a teacher, student services, or principal, it's like, it's our whole thing. So I'd be worried if I wasn't passionate about this,
No.
but
My concern is that you have a bandwidth to do your new job plus this stuff.
well, it's not all on me, like the teachers are in the thick of this, and they're equally as passionate. Like this,
So
Yeah.
Connie Severance is took on a lot of the things that she was doing.
yeah,
So you were always so visible with Hannah,
I know.
and Connie's not visible with you.
Here, yes.
here, but
Again,
yeah.
okay.
She's running the interventions and we're looking at data together and that's what that student services position is, and Connie does a great job with that and communicating with the teachers, so,
Thank you for that.
yeah.
I have a question with the win,
Yeah,
how do you guys work that with the 7th, 8th, 9th grade, or 6th, 7th, and 8th, sorry? Do you guys sit with each individual student each week and go, hey, I need this done, or your grade in math isn't doing well, how do you help them?
we have a pretty intense spreadsheet where we've taken all the data along with, so iReady data, SBA data. And we figured out the cohorts that needed the most help, which was that 6th grade in certain subjects. And we divided the classes based on that need. So Ms. Chilson is doing math intervention again in middle school, which is great. So she runs a small group, they're doing some personalized instruction and the class kind of flips. So part of the time is the personalized instruction or homework or whatever the teacher gives as to fill that gap. And then, like Ms. Chilson will work with a small group on the homework. So that's how it works in middle school, but all of it is very data driven. So students working on a highly capable plan or, just kind of need a study hall, we place them appropriately. But the students who didn't pass SBA, who are in the red, they are with Ms. Severance or Ms. Chilson. And 2 days a week it's math, 2 days a week it's reading. Yeah.
iReady is, we're purchasing this curricula through a company that's their name iReady. Is that
Yeah.
a state stuff or is it a company?
It's a company, we didn't purchase any of this. We have it for free for the whole year to try.
Oh.
Whether the curriculum's a part of this or not, or if we decide to go with a different curriculum. Most school districts are moving to the assessment suite because of its correlation to SBA data.
Alright.
Yeah. Okay, science, all of this is the same, quite honestly. The only thing I want to draw your attention to are the last 2 bullet points. Looking at last year's math data, which is a pretty good benchmark for how they might do on the science SBA test, the WCAS. 5th grade students, I said, kept the goal of 65% of 5th grade students will achieve proficiency. I think that's absolutely an attainable goal. Looking at our current 8th graders, when they were 5th graders here, 50% of them received a 3 or a 4 on the science state assessment. So for that cohort, having 3 years of science in middle school, we're adjusting their goal to 60%. Because it's valid based on the cohort. So we looked at historical data to make a attainable goal. Okay. We talked about this for years. We're still doing the STEAM kits. Mr. Trimble is working now in elementary school in co-teaching, and what we're doing is kind of splitting the class in half. Mr. Trimble teaches STEAM class, and then the teacher takes the rest of the class and does a small group for reading or math, and then they switch. So it's a really good use of that time. And then we added professional learning around utilizing our school grounds to conduct science observations and lessons like nature journaling. We had a gentleman come in and teach our intermediate wing the structures of that, and they're so excited, and it's something that's in our action plan because it's good.
What actually does he teach? What is he?
Mr. Trimble?
Yeah, okay, but I mean, the utilization of our school grounds, an example
Our beautiful nature trail.
of, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have our own little ecosystem back there, which,
Okay.
So he actually works for me up at, he's a lawyer at Index, and he is an ecologist and a science major, and he used to teach in Costa Rica in outdoor schools, and so we're building an outdoor ed program up there, and we took our kids out into the woods and we did nature journaling, so we replicated that out of, Lewis and Clark, and they came across, they did a lot of nature journaling, identifying plants, so we were teaching our kids how to be in the environment and make observations of the ground in a very solid scientific process strategy. So they're dealing with language, they're dealing with art, and they're dealing with scientific observation. And so we brought them down here to do that with our kids because we live in the woods. And we wanted to use this great space to not just get fresh air, but to do observations and learn and use it in a more academic way.
Thank you.
okay, we have other goals. I didn't list all the action plan. Inclusion, we, in our previous SIPs. It's always been a goal of ours. But now we're establishing a self-contained classroom. It's advancing our school's commitment to inclusive ed, ensuring all students, despite their abilities, receive equitable access within our own community. So we're going to build on that. Communication is still always a goal, open communication and engagement with families. Part of that is that parent square, that two-way communication. And then SEL, we are doing the character strong and it's starting to really pay off. So that is still always a goal, is to enhance the whole child, which includes social emotional interactions. And then personal creativity, we want to keep kids here. We want to keep our choice transfer list really robust, and that's creating unique learning experiences. And now we have band class again, leadership classes, skills for life. We're in CTE courses that are on the way, so we're always going to try to keep our school attractive and families want to bring their kids here. Okay, questions? There's a lot.
Thank you.
So, love your passion. To live for it. So, good job.
Thanks. As a
Alright.
leadership team, that was a team effort.
Gotta have a leader.
Huh?
Leadership team's gotta have a leader. All right. We are now caught up to the consent agenda. I'd like a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I'll send it.
All right, Edree and Deb, discussion. So, this capital project, this is the Apollo, that 21,000, is that the Apollo?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, and then it looks to me like GCA came through with more Camp Seymour money. And then Kathy and Darwin, what was it, Rye?
Rig.
Rig. Well, pretty significant.
Fantastic.
And, excuse me,
She happens to work here.
okay.
And
So-
not our place.
And, so everything else is that whole Camp Seymour, we started like around 3,000 and we had a $5,000 bill, it's all paper.
Oh, it's within a couple $100 to completely being
Wow,
paid.
that's really impressive,
It's,
that's really
yeah,
impressive.
and I think we might have ended up collecting a tiny bit, maybe even more than,
And that includes like transportation costs, some costs for the teacher, so that's like all of the district costs, right? So that's good.
Wow, that's really significant. Now, I know in the past, we sent like a thank you card or something.
Yeah, Sherry wrote letters, but from me, and I signed them, and then, Cindy, they went above and beyond and sent additional note cards to them.
All right,
I have a question, the ASB, is that the total amount or just this month? The 6501?
that's the only expenses for them.
Oh, okay, good. Like, is that the total?
No. You see a lot of volatility with ASB, there'll be months that don't have any expenses, but yeah, that's fine.
okay, unless there's any more, discussion, I'm gonna call for a vote, all in favor?
I
All right, 100%, thank you, Ed. Okay, so we.
I am still allowed to vote, right? While I'm on Zoom. Okay. Okay. Maybe you want me to just do a hand reaction. Is that better?
We can hear you well.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, this is put you at a disadvantage, but you've been awfully quiet tonight.
Well, you guys need a break once in a while.
Okay, all right.
So
We resemble that. Okay, we're gonna move on here. So now we're down to city, if you'd like, we could go to yours in item number 11, your principal report.
I defer to Jerry's report. I think you're done listening to me. Because I know, he said it all. We're good.
Would you like me to report it in the same?
He covered it.
You were just on yours agenda.
Yeah, no, the only thing I will add is our Veterans Day Assembly is on Friday, November 7th. At 9:30. If you would like to come, you are more than welcome. Friday, November 7th
You,
at 9:30.
you have people that come from the community for that, for.
In the past, yeah.
All right, well, it looks to me like, then if that's all you got, then we're down to 12, operational services, so Andrea, it's all yours.
There's not a ton happened around here in September. Not anything terribly exciting in here, except the first page, I think is probably the most exciting, which is our enrollment. So you'll remember for the 25-26 year, we budgeted for a student enrollment of 210 kiddos, which is the same thing we budgeted for last year. And you'll see in this enrollment that our actual enrollment right now is at 223. So currently we're running about 13 students above of what we budgeted for, which is a good place to be. The interesting thing that you see, the kids don't always fall neatly into the grade levels that we might want them to be in. So we have a really big second grade class right now with 22. And then the other big class, sixth grade, and this was September numbers, had 28, and I think that class is one of those classes, 6th or 7th, is pushing 30 right now.
7th is 30 now.
So we've actually, in October, we've grown either another one or 3 kids, I can't remember, but a little bit higher. You'll see next month, so that's exciting. And it does allow us a way to grow our fund balance, create more revenue, which is great if any one class doesn't get so big that we don't have to hire another teacher. So it's kind of a tipping, it's kind of a tipping point.
At what number do we have to?
There's not a set number really, because, 22 kids in one class, in one grade compared to 22 kids in another grade, and then what those students are. But Cindy works very closely with the teachers, to talk about overload. So they do have class limits, overload limits, where if they get higher than a certain number of students in each class, we offer those teachers some supports. And if the grade levels get too high, then we talk about at what point can we financially, afford to hire another teacher and take that to 2 grades.
I had 31 at that 4th grade, or that 7th grade class, that was in this academic. So it's always been big.
You had 41.
31.
31.
Gosh.
Oh, thank you.
30.
If I could hear it, it's in good shape.
Yeah. Anyway, enrollment's looking good. So this is just what compares our revenues year to date with what we think we would have year to date. And this slide, I expect will have a similar trend that we saw last year, where our revenues, I believe that we will get higher than what we budgeted, and the expenditures hopefully will track pretty close to what we budgeted, maybe a little bit higher. But for the first month, we've earned more revenue than we thought we would, and we spent a little bit less than we thought we would. First couple of months are always kind of interesting. We pay a lot of things in the spring and summer for the upcoming year, so sometimes the expenditures lag in the first part of the year. The other thing that we'll notice as we see revenues from now until December, the revenues that we get from the state are based on our budgeted apportionment. So the revenues might seem a little higher, but then in January, when they true up with our real enrollment, assuming our enrollment stays high, we'll see that jump up in potentially in January. All right, this is just our general fund, how we spend our money. Probably should have consolidated this. September and year to date are the same because it's just September. But the first 3 rows are our salaries. So certificated salaries, classified salaries, and then benefits for both of those groups. And then what we spent on supplies, purchase services, and travel. And you'll see our total budget on the far right-hand column. The encumbrance column, right now, all we have encumbered is payroll expenses for the year, so that projects what we'll spend on payroll for the whole year. And it's just a projection, so that'll fluctuate a little bit throughout the year as things that people do may change. All right, the next slide is our general fund balance. So you'll see a new dashed line up there. That slide is getting kind of crazy. Next year, we'll probably take a line off of it. But this year projected to do a similar trend as in prior years. The one thing I wanted to point out for you on this particular slide the ending fund balance in the upper left-hand side. If you look at the 24-25 school year, we ended with a fund balance of over $800,000, 834,000, so we did grow fund balance last year. Strategically saved that because we do have this upcoming curriculum expense for next year, so it looks big and exciting, and it is, but it'll cover a one-time big chunk cost that we have coming up. And then, the fund balances that you see there still have, I've updated the numbers with the TK carryover that we had. We had carryover from 23-24 to last year, and we have about the same carryover from last year into this year, which gives us a nice cushion in case we have a small year for TK enrollment. And then that minimum fund balance is that big purple chunk in the middle, that's the 9% reserve, minimum of 9% reserve that board policy dictates we keep. So this year, based on budgeted expenditures, that minimum is 430,000. We need to keep on the books at all times to cover that minimum reserved fund balance in case of an emergency or lack of revenue.
9%, 9 to 14 is a range, $4 million budget, 10% would be about 400,000. Okay. Okay.
The other fund balances that you'll see here, debt service, we have a, for the bond for this building, we have a debt payment coming up in December, so that balance will grow as we collect taxes to make that payment. Transportation vehicle fund is gonna stay about the same all year. We'll receive income from interest in that fund though, so a little bit of money will trickle in. That $200 more that you see. You might wonder, how do we make $200 in our transportation fund? But we make interest income, and interest rates are higher right now, so we'll make a little bit. And then just similar things in those other two funds like we've seen last year. Any questions on those?
So we should.
ASP.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
All right. And I didn't have much to put on this slide, but the exciting thing was that our enrollment numbers are a little bit above budget right now. The big thing on my plate right now is wrapping up last year, so getting all the paperwork done to get our last year's data over to the state this week. The end of this Friday is my deadline for that, so that's been my focus, and then I'll put together a report that kind of shows you guys what we did last year, similar to what you've seen in the past.
So the number that sticks in my mind is 230-ish. It's total enrollment. We're like 223, so we're just down 72 students total.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the workbook I have that I used to put this together. I have a little grid off to the side that shows if we had every class maxed out with the most students without exceeding our class size limits, and that would put us at 240. That would be our patch school would be 240 with one grade. With one grade per bit.
It seems to me that our in-district enrollment is in the 190-ish range. As I remember in my past life, or short time on the
I
board.
can get that number for you. I would just need a count.
I think you're pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna quote it, but
So we're carrying roughly 30 kids out of district. That we.
Yeah. And, you know, now we have 15 in TK. We have 2 more in 7th grade. I think 1 more in 1st grade, you know, I think we're up just from this, like 4 students.
Because as far as demographics of people, either having lots of kids that are in the area or moving into the area, the Dave Yard is staying stable, the mill is still stable, satellite community for Tacoma and Olympia. I mean, we still, as a county and as a community, we still seem to be able to grow, it looks like. I'm just talking, but what kind of factors influence this enrollment?
Well, I mean, also economic states, right? Like we have some multi-generational houses, right? Some people move back home.
Okay.
Um,
And we're selling a good product. Okay. Okay, all right, just trying to like I said, these discussions come up, hey, what's new at the school? Well, you know, I mean, it's interesting that when you're out in the environment. Okay, next job. Any other questions, Jeff?
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna quit pontificating. Stand down here. Okay, so now we're down to new business interaction item number 13. So it looks like we have an approved resolution. 10/22/25 school bus. Number 11 surplus. Can I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved, or,
I agree.
I'll second it.
Yeah, thank you. Discussion, so this is bus 11, we were just talking prior to you guys getting in here, so it looks like what we do is when we approve this action, it goes to some sort of like a transportation central person that would know that we have this bus that's available. There may be a need that someone's looking for a bus at the right place, we'll make it available. And so when we approve this action, it just.
It allows us to then move on to the process, so. Some of them go faster than others. I had at Starbucks 2 little buses that I sold and people wanted them fast, right? Because they were little buses and we needed them.
are they using bus 11 right now?
No.
No, okay.
This is down below.
Is
Is there one bus out right now? Cause I noticed our routes has the older bus. Am I wrong?
Only if there's a field trip or if there's extracurricular in the afternoon, then we have to have four drivers. for
Yeah,
this.
because when you fold it, please, but I think the actual. Let's see. Yeah, here we are.
I demand that my house has the newest bus.
It does.
It does, it's tiny.
It doesn't have children here.
I was gonna say, if you have some students there, we'd love to come pick that up.
So, whereas the Grapeview School District 54 has the 2012 IC bus obsolete, no longer in use with the district. Policy 681, 61P, now we provide these as declared surplus. And now be resolved that the Board of Directors 54 declares that this bus, the surplus and direction superintendent is disposed of the property in the policy and procedure. Adopted by the board. Okay. So we actually have a number of supporters, but we need to go ahead and prove it. So, Wes, you've been through this before. Any questions or comments you have?
No,
Okay. Yeah, Henry? Okay.
Are we estimating a certain amount to get?
They don't sell for much.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
It might be a couple $1,000.
And where do those funds go to?
They go back to the transportation building.
All right, any more questions? All right, if not, I'm gonna go ahead and, all in favor?
I,
Okay, 100%, all right. So I see, I've signed it, Evan signed it. Deb signed it, looks like you, and we just need a minimum of 3. Okay. All right, so now we're down, Tom's not here for legislative update, so I'm gonna dispense down to policies. Looks like in 15, first reading is we have an oath of office, which we're gonna need to polish up right here in another month. Ethical conduct for school directors. Last updated is 2021, and the first reading addressing school director violations, so. These will be coming up for approval. I read through these and I did look like anything. There's shallow, so I'm gonna move down to policy approval. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call for, like a motion to approve policy 1310. Policy adoption manual and administrative procedures. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Agree.
I'll second it.
Thanks, Deb. Okay, discussion, so this one seemed like, if we had this one in 2000. So this is an update. Let's see, when I looked at this 13, 22, I don't remember anything jumping out of them. You guys see anything? All right, I'm without a. Wes, have you had a chance to look at these?
yeah,
Okay. Any comments from you?
no,
All right, I'm gonna then, with no more discussion, I'd like a vote to approve, all in favor?
I,
100%. The next one is 24-20 grading and progress reports. I'd like a motion for approval. Terry, thank you, Deb. Discussion.
I'm sorry, which one is this?
This one is policy 24-20. It's a grading and progress report.
Okay,
Last updated September 21. As I read through this, I didn't see anything that was earth shattering.
The only thing I've noticed is that if a teacher is going to include attendance and participation in the grade, they have to send a written notice out. So what would that be, like a PE class? If you don't play with all the kids, your grade will go, but the teacher has to send a notice out at that time? That's what it said, I think.
Yeah, it does say that. The teacher needs to let the kids know that attendance and participation is an element of the grade.
Okay, is that for the parents?
Should, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just-
it would be.
I'm just, I never had to do that, I thought it was interesting.
We're standards-based grading, so. It looks a little different, right?
Yeah.
Like at the high school, and Messina Center, it's standards-based grading, so they can't dock really a student's grade if they take a test and they're meeting standard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see that.
But PE, like at conference time, if a student isn't participating, which I think would probably be the biggest area. She communicates, she has a sheet,
Mhm.
she gives to the parents.
Yeah.
And this is the one-on-one that you have with every parent, every student, right? Parent teacher, isn't this stuff that comes up in the parent teacher, that's the time?
Oh, yeah, and our families are really good about email. If your student's not participating, you'll know about it before conferences.
I should hope so.
At least you hope so.
Go ahead, Bud.
Oh, I just said I should hope so. You know,
Yeah, it's interesting, at the beginning of each term, each teacher will specify in writing the student learning goals and for his or her respective course. The participation is used as the basis for mastery of the goal or standard. A student's grades may be adversely affected for failure to attend or participate. Provided on that day that there was a graded participation activity. If the teacher does not provide student writing, the teacher may not use attendance or participation in the grading process.
I don't know if that's so applicable to us, right, since we switched over to standards-based grading. Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Yeah, when I read it, I went, wow. So,
So it would be music and PE, it's not so much on how good a musician you are you part of the class and participating? And so it's an expectation, and we let them know you have to participate.
Even in academic classes, if you're not there to participate, you're not learning, so when the test comes up, you miss something. For sure. I mean, a bunch.
all right, you want to take more of a conversation or questions about this? Somebody call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
I
100%. Okay, now we're down to, I'd like a motion to approve policy 3210, which is non-discrimination, is not updated, not said. So I'd like a motion to approve.
So moved.
Every, yeah, okay, discussion,
is this the non-discrimination policy?
Yes,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Okay. And those, Jerry, were those changes made? Adding is this the one where we're
So
adding
what
the
we did-
definition?
Yeah, so what we did as you requested, we looked into the definition of neurodivergent, and I consulted our lawyer. And he agrees with you in its broadness.
Wow, I was
yeah.
actually right about
I
something,
know,
huh?
yes. So good job, but he also
Even a broken clock is right twice a day, you know.
But he also
So-
said that the way things are written, he would not advise us trying to be more specific or change that in terms of diagnose. What your question was, you had asked, diagnosed neurodivergent,
Mhm.
right? And he he said the law is intentionally written like that, and you could put that in there, but it would be counter to what the law is and could potentially get us in different kind of trouble, so we can, it is as laws of the road, it is as our attorney recommends. And if we as a board, you could change that, but that's not what our lawyer suggests.
I just find it interesting that when somebody the thing that I want to avoid is somebody being held to account for their own behavior, then all of a sudden going, oh, but I'm X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
And you can't tell me what to do because I'm X, Y, and Z. And anyway, but that's okay. Well,
We do it all the
whatever.
time. With school discipline and working with children, we know.
Whatever. I think it's BS, but go ahead.
What I find interesting out of this, in the state, the name, title, and address of the telephone number of the employee designated as a compliance officer. Are you the compliance officer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is that pop that in Title IX coordinator?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, you do 504s, for Cindy, are you the 504? Yeah, but I do a lot of the others, yeah.
Like people access the Boy Scouts of America.
Yeah, that's a long-standing addition, that really is not needed anymore. But if nobody would be brave enough to take it out. Politically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what was I mean, it is an illegal political, what was it, we don't.
I can have Brittany send out.
Well,
To you guys if you want.
The reason it was included is because Boy Scouts were Boy Scouts and they were, because it was not as inclusive as people like, they were digging on Boy Scouts, and legislatures decided that they wanted to make sure that they were not discriminated against also. And so they included Boy Scouts in a lot of different policies so that they would not be discriminated against either. It's really kind of.
I don't think it would exclude 4-H if they came up and knocked on the door. I mean, there are other organizations like that.
Like any other age group was.
Kind of a mute.
All right, if there's no more discussion, I'm gonna call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 100%.
Nope.
No.
Nope, it's not 100%.
Excuse me, so Wes, you abstained? Or no?
I'm
Or
dissenting.
no?
I'm saying no.
No, I'm sorry, okay, excuse me. So, yeah. Wes. Edry, yes. Wes, no. Okay. Thank you, Wes.
I want to make it clear, it's not because I'm pro discrimination. It's, I don't like having vague descriptions about things. So anyway, thank you.
By our lawyer.
But the lawyer agrees that it creates some problems.
That's
and-
fine. That's fine. They're a lawyer for a reason. That's why I'm not a lawyer. So they know best. I'm just, voting my conscience just like we're elected to do.
Okay, the next one here is policy, 5010, non-discrimination and affirmative action. I'd like a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
And you go, okay. Discussion, so this is the one.
I'm
that-
sorry, I had a jet go overhead. What policy is this?
This is 5010 West 5010. This is the non-discrimination and affirmative action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because of the the prohibiting the employee from using, well, this is an employee from using, it's just, so this is an employee.
And it's that particular piece is not an issue because we just have single act.
Okay, all right. Okay, so. Yeah, I forgot, I was thinking this was a student, but this is an employee, okay. All right. Anything jump out here, Jeff? Henry, West, anything jump out on this one?
What's affirmative action about it?
Try that question again.
You had mentioned it's non-discriminatory affirmative action. What
Well, there was
what part is
a-
affirmative action?
There was a section here underneath the examples of employment discrimination, and I misread that about prohibiting an employee from using the restroom consistent with his or her gender identity. Jerry, we do have. gender
Yeah, we have individual bathrooms,
Correct.
right?
And that, and I
So,
missed that.
okay, all right, okay. I'm good to go.
This whole neural divergent thing shows up again.
Yeah,
So, okay, I just want to pull that out. Okay, so.
we might as well just say, you know, if you're anything but, you know, white male Christian, you can't be discriminated against. I mean, just make it real easy. You know, it's just, we keep adding all these weird things, but we don't want to define them and we don't want to be diagnosed with them. So anyway, okay, I'm ready.
So, do you have any more comments, Henry? Any more? Okay, I'm gonna call for a vote on this. All in favor of approving policy 5010?
Aye.
Wes, are you?
No,
Okay. I didn't get it. Okay, so Les, Henry,
Yes.
and yes,
Yes.
and Wes, no, okay. You get that, Brittany? Okay. We're down to 5260. I'd like a motion to approve the policy 5260.
So moved.
Henry, yes.
Second?
Yes, okay, discussion, so this is 5260 deals with the records.
Personal record.
Personal records.
oh, personal records.
5260.
Okay. Thanks, Edri. Am I bothering you by not being able to hear you guys?
No,
Okay.
good.
All right.
You continue to bring this stuff up, okay?
You know, yeah,
We're not
it might have
done
been
at
just better
all.
for me to skip the meeting.
No.
You know, I'm sorry that I can't hear it totally clearly. So,
We'll do the best we can here.
not meaning to
Okay, so-
irritate you.
So this is personal records, I didn't see anything in here. I mean, it's just personnel files, which is what we apparently already do. This is a policy adoption was back in 2003, so it's been out there a long time. So Wes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
this is just personnel records.
Right,
So.
yeah, I read that,
Okay.
so.
So, Deb, do you have any concerns?
No, it's been 2003, we should definitely do it.
Yeah, just one.
Just to keep the light on.
It's out there, and I'm assuming we have personal files.
It's only a couple decades out of date.
Okay, Henry, all right, I'm gonna call for a vote, all in favor?
I,
Okay, so 100% for, okay. So, we are down to the. Yeah, this is one of the fastest ones we've had. Okay, so we're back to item 16, future agenda items. The November board meeting is the 19th. So what do you have here in mind for retired policies? You got some on the list of weird.
We have, through the new policy and legal updates that have come out, there's a list of recommended retired policies because they've been replaced by newer policies.
Okay.
That there will be a list and it will show you which policies have replaced the ones that are recommended for retirement. So that's just something that we would bring.
So is this something that will be actionable during the November meeting?
It's more for informational purposes. I don't think it actually
Something to
needs.
vote on.
Yeah, we've already adopted, we're up to date, or keeping up to date on policies, and these are policies that are, other policies have taken over those and they're still in the books, but they're not really relevant because all that information is held within other policies, and so they say you can just take them out.
So this is a WASDA recommendation.
Yeah,
Okay,
but we didn't want to just take them out without telling you.
works for me. Okay, so I just overlooked something here. I'm gonna back up to 13, the board retreat location. We need to address that before I go to the organization of the board, because this is part of our agenda.
We're working on 2 different locations right now. The sticking point was the date that was set for December 6th. The Port of Allen was booked. So we're looking at 2 other locations, either the
So
GCA.
Alan's booked on the 6th, okay?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So either the GCA or we have a PUD 3 might have
That's a great place.
room.
UD3 out on top of the hill, Jonesburg. Okay.
So we're still working on it. I hope to have an answer.
It seems to be the last time, the couple $100 fee that got reduced dramatically.
Mhm.
With either, like, GCA won't be in charge.
We're not charging it, that's fire department.
Oh, that's correct, that's correct. Okay, and then, is there a charge for the PUD?
That's what I'm looking into. We've been given a couple of different people to contact through PUD 3.
All right.
What about the Mason Benson Club?
We looked into that one and it was actually quite expensive, even if you could find someone who was already a member. It was a $300 deposit for the fee for the room, for the cleaning fee and access and utilities. And that wasn't on top of, that did not include the actual charge hourly for the day.
What
I
about,
don't remember if that helps.
what's the restaurant in Allen,
The boathouse?
No, the one up in the golf course.
Oh, the bistro.
Eating room up above, don't they?
Is it downstairs or upstairs? Nicole?
Yeah, I had my wedding reception there. Yeah, there's a bunch of space upstairs.
So it's another option we can look at. We will look at the first 2 costs.
And we could order lunch. The other option is we could just go to one of our houses, right? We could do that too. Anyway, I heard Jerry volunteer his place.
Yeah, let's, I had another thought too, but I'm not gonna throw it out. All right, let's get this before the next, because the 6th is gonna be after the next meeting, so, or yes.
And we're working on it.
And in the last item that we had is, and it's gonna be on the offsite, is reorganization of the board, and that's gonna be, we'll be talking about for the December meeting in the offsite. Right, Andrew? Okay, all right, so. At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and start to wrap this up and call for reflections and comments. Last year, the furthest away and the toughest to hear us.
Board comments?
Yeah, reflection.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. They train fighter pilots down here, and every once in a while you hear some Freedom jets go over, and one was just going over. I really liked Cindy's presentation. I'm happy that we're slightly above budget as far as enrollment. And I don't mean to be contrary on these policies. I would just like them to be a little tighter. And I know that the attorney recommended against it and all that kind of stuff. Attorneys, recommend a bunch of things, and that's why I'm not one of them. So I'm not trying to be contrary. But I'm happy I'm on vacation and enjoying myself, and I'm glad the meeting's over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Cindy, very much. It's always good to learn all that stuff. It's important. Thank you, Andrea. Again, I can figure out what you're talking about, which I appreciate a lot. That helps a lot. I think the school's just in a good place. We'll find out more about it, I think, this weekend when we have the Halloween party. We'll find out how things are going from, we see all the parents and kids. I'm a little worried about asking parents to bring, this is from the PTA, it's transport. Asking people to bring so much stuff when some of them have been on furlough for 20 days. You know, so we're saying, can you bring in some candy and can you buy some this and do something for the baskets and maybe buy a ticket and it's like, and they just haven't had any. I know that there was one lady at the last PTO meeting who said, every one of my family's on furlough. So I don't know that. I'm just really glad that they can get free food here, lunch and breakfast.
Let's talk.
Huh?
Let's talk. I think I addressed that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think we're.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was really worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I'll shut up now. But
I feel optimistic. I'm happy to see where we're at and where we're meeting and we're swallowing that pill and know, I'm also excited to see the future results. You know, I have faith in our kids and know they've got a hunger to learn and want to be here. So if we were to take anything, I think there's a positive spin on that. And like I said, I'm excited to see the next results, to see how far they've come and grown.
So Cindy, you've got my attention on the assessments, and I continue to tell people at every opportunity, like what Deb does too as well, and everybody, everyone of us, that we're on the right trend. We've got the right leadership, we've got the right group of people doing the right thing. Andrea, same thing with you, stepping into your role and keeping us transparently above and in front of running this business. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Jared, I'm gonna wrap up with you.
I guess I would say, the last month or so, I've had, you know, a lot going on, 2 jobs, and my mother was very sick and she passed away last week. And, but one of the things that Cindy messaged me and said, do you need anything? And what I really, as I reflected on that, I'm like, no, we've already given that to me, which is that whole team who just takes really good care of the school, and I don't have to be too anxious. I still kept working, but I haven't had to have that extra burden of worrying about the school because they got it. So good job, thank you.
Interesting. So, Brittany, let's show that 6:13:07, we would call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, Les.
Thank you. Thanks, Les.
Enjoy your time.
Les, oh, I was gonna ask you what the temperature was.
Yes.
It must be pretty nice because he's sitting up there having a drink at the bar. Okay.
And I will,
So this is,
and I will meet with that child tomorrow, make sure they.
so Brittany, on my desk, there was this. This was this,
That's. Current.
but this one would be signed by us.
It's just in the book, that's it. There should be one in the folder, that's probably.
Very enough, as you guys, you guys starting.
Yes, I do.
This is all recycled. Yeah.